This is Oshodi, one of the areas in Lagos State.
View, it's okay and it's good.
But what are the consequences of this?
Hello there, and warm welcome to this week's edition of Super Eye on Super Screen YouTube 45. I'm Adenike Owoeye Ajiboye. Well, we sincerely apologize for the time in which we're bringing Super Eye to you today. The reason is not far-fetched. It is the Bundesliga sports and the match, so to say, being aired on the station. However, another warm welcome to the program. It is not news that Nigeria, which is the giant of Africa, is frequently faced with building collapse. And the reason given in most cases is always about a weak enforcement of regulations and poor construction materials used in building. And now in 2016, more than 100 people were killed when a church come down in Nigeria. I'm sure you still remember that story. That is the synagogue church. And so many building collapses that we've seen in Lagos State and on other parts of the country. Now, the most recent is, I tell you, when I heard the news from me, it was disheartening. It was on the heart-breaking news. Hearing that there was a building collapse in Itafaji area of Lagos State, that is on the Lagos Island, where a lot of people actually, died. And most worrisome is that the very building housed a particular school and pupils died. And so today, for us to discuss the way forward, looking at the causes of building collapse, the effects and the solutions, I have with me two gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, over there. I have a builder, Tunde Ainan. Tunde Ainan is a member of the National Technical Committee for Building Collapse Prevention Guild. He is also the former Public Relations Officer of Nigerian Institute of Building, Lagos State chapter. And beside him, ladies and gentlemen, is another gentleman, Engineer Mustapha Lusty. Engineer Mustapha Lusty is electronics engineer and a security specialist. He is also the chairman of Access International. You're welcome to Super Eye, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Adenike. It's nice to have you. It's nice to have you.
All right, beautiful. Well, before we begin this discussion, first of all, I would want to show us the report of Itafaji building collapse and how everything went from the first day to the second day. And we also visited the hospital. And I think right about now, let's just quickly take a listen to that report, after which we'll be right back to deal with the issue of a building collapse in the country. Stay with us. Shouts of sorrow, tears rolling down the faces of loved ones and sympathizers as pupils are rescued, dead, and some alive, whom eventually gave up the ghost. Just like a normal day, residents in this three-story building located on Massey Street, Itafaji, on Lagos Island, woke up to their usual daily activities, while pupils whose school at the ground floor and the third floor all resumed with the aim of closing to see their parents. But this never happened, as tragedy struck with the collapse of the building.
It's a three-story building with a penthouse with a lot of students there that enter, that collapse. And there are a lot of people trapped there, like 120 plus. But my debut, one èèyàn jáde àwọn ọmọ kékèké ni wọ́n ń gbé jáde wọ́n tún gbólóyún jáde náà àtàwọn tó ti kú ẹ sọ fún ìjọba kí wọ́n kọ́ school tó dáa kọ́ lè gba àwọn tíṣà tó dáa sí school.
This thing must stand is a house and school. Just enter, just going down, not anything, not break, just going down.
More than 100 people, more than 170 students. 170 students. They've only rescued like 30 students. We want the government to please, we are pleading. They should come and help us. They should come and help us. They should come and do their best to help us. This caterpillar of 18 is not good. Look at those people that are driving the caterpillar. They are old people. They should know this caterpillar to affect them. The one that happened during that area. The caterpillar are cutting people in Olushi area. The caterpillar are cutting people. It is cutting them. There are pupils, there are children there. 2-year-old people, 2-year-old baby, they are there because this school is also having a daycare.
Rescue workers were, however, swift in responding to saving lives. While many are trapped, only 9 have been rescued alive.
The rescue operation has been upped. LASEMA, paramedics, security, and we must also commend the boys of the area who were the first contact of rescue before we came here. And we were having about 24 survivors, rescued persons, and 9 dead, mostly children.
But this morning, an angel of God just relaxed. So after them came there, but since morning we have been walking inside. We have removed almost 30 children inside, and there are still more children separate in the first floor.
I saw about 5 children dead that they've carried. It's very, very sad. If I be governor of Lagos State today, I will have arrested and sacked DG of Labska because they are the one that approved the renovation of that house.
ẹni bá wọn bá àwọn ìjọba wa sọ̀rọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ilé tí ò dáa tí wọ́n renovate yẹn wọ́n bá wọn jọ because ẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn gan ti ń ṣòfò ní ìlú yìí ti pọ̀ jù oye bí ilé òjò ilé máa ń wó ilé máa wọlẹ̀ so ilé tí ò bá ti dáa wọ́n bá wa destroy.
The Lagos State Governor Akinme Ambode was also quick in visiting the scene.
I want to appeal to everyone that they should give the rescue workers a chance to save more lives. Like we have said, this area will be undergoing a lot of integrity tests with the buildings in this neighborhood. And as you can see, some of them have been marked for demolition. We get resistance from landlords, but we must continue to save life and we will intensify our efforts to see that those that have failed our integrity test, we make sure that they are quickly educated and we bring this structure down.
Worthy of note is that 150 persons are said to be living in this 3-story building. And as at the time of filing this report, only 26 have been rescued alive. It is day 2 at the collapsed building on Massey Street on the island. Unexpectedly, what you can see there is that residents of this particular building are trying to take some of their belongings and then just start their life from there. However, rescue team are still working assiduously to ensure that they are able to rescue if our adventure to say some people are still trapped on the rubble. However, it is important to note that this building from findings has shown that it has been marked twice, which means it is substandard. But the question is, why has the building remained? And today, what we have been faced is a tragic incident.
We have done what we call integrity test, and we figure that building needs to be put down totally. Nothing else to be done. Different ministries that to do their own job. Like if we mark or we notice anything, we have to write letter to Lagos State Building Control. Those are the ones that have the power to do demolition. So my job has been done by passing the information to LABSCA for them to act on the demolition.
For every occurrence of emergency like this that has happened, there must have been so many that have been prevented. It's just that we don't put it in the public domain. But that is not to say that we should shield whoever is responsible for the dereliction of duty from blame. That is not to say, because everybody must be involved in this work. including the journalists.
Meanwhile, Lagos residents are still gathered with sad faces and sympathy for the victims, their families, and in expectation of more to be rescued alive. But what thoughts do they share about the situation?
Àwọn tó yẹ ká blame, òun ni àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní LAPCA office.
The Lagos State Fiscal Planning Permit Authority, LASPA, should be blamed for this collapse. This is because they have marked this building twice for demolition. But because they usually take a bribe, they spare them and allow them to renovate and paint. Besides, many of these LASPA officials are employed based on sentiment, appointment, and not expertise.
Political appointment, nothing from one work capable láti ṣiṣẹ́ yẹn, so kíjọba wa bá wa mójútó gbogbo area yẹn.
Those developers, most of them, the materials they are used is not enough. Most of the houses, too much sand. The sand they are using is more than the cement. And cement is supposed to be plenty than the sand. So that is what causes all this problem. If the cement is solid, the house will not be collapsed like that.
It's really good to hear residents around this area are saying that the blame should be put on developers. Unfortunately, the rescue officials could not give the exact figure of casualties recorded and those rescued alive.
Our men are still on the field trying to collate figures. When this exercise started yesterday, the community people started the rescue effort. They are the first responder. They got some figures of people they rescued, of course, which they took to various hospitals, including the one nearest them here, Mercy Children's Hospital, and then the Lagos Island General Hospital. We came in and supported them, and then we also have some figures. But we also know some people were injured and they were taken by relatives to clinics and hospitals around here. We have some information about that. So all of these have been put at the table of the Honorable Commissioner for Health, and with his team, they're trying to put that figure together.
But as you can see, it appears the rescue mission is still on. But from officials, they say they have gotten to ground zero, which means as it is, there appears not to be anybody still trapped under the rubble. But the question on the lips of many is how do we stop this kind of situation?
All the marked ones, we have to revisit them, and we go to a conference meeting, sit together and decide how long we're going to give them within a short period of time, 3 months, 1 month, for them to leave this the building site for demolition.
The way forward is probably going to be a review of how it is that the regulatory agencies are able to work. The signs have been there. Owners usually, because of money, they do not want it to be taken down. They'll feel like it's too much of a cost for them. The community may also feel like, well, those ones who are owners or who have money, they have more influence. But the regulatory agencies are the ones that are responsible for public safety. And so for the regulators, more rigorous enforcement will be required. And because we know that regulatory agencies are usually short-staffed, it's also possible for regulatory agencies to seek the help of professional associations like the Nigerian Institution of Safety Engineers to be able to get more people to look at what the situation is in different places and then be able to give proper advice for action that should be taken. And those professional associations, because they are not doing it because they are government, they would not necessarily be looking at how to punish owners or how to deprive them of their own livelihood. They'll be looking at how they can improve their standards of safety. So for a building that has already been given signs, an engineer will be able to say this is what to do to be able to make sure it is structurally sound and that it can continue safe habitation. So going forward, this is one of the things that would work.
With all that he has been able to analyze, I think the right thing to do for the federal government at this moment, or the Lagos State government, is to set up a committee that will investigate how and why this building has remained. Because if this is done, we will be able to forestall such tragic incidents in the society. From Itafaji, Massey Street on the island, I'm Adenike Ajiboye reporting for Superscreen News. Superscreen's visit to the General Hospital shows that some of the victims of a Tafaji building collapse are responding to treatment. In the same vein, the team of the federal government also visited the hospital, and here emotions pour out.
Once happened in 2016, 2017, now 2019. It's getting too much in Lagos Island. It's getting too much. We don't want it. We want the government to help us. And to go round. We want government to go round. Every weak building, we want government to bring it down. And every school.
Are saddened with this situation, that tragic incident that occurred on Wednesday of this very week. And so we'll quickly hit the nail on the head because of our timing. So let me quickly start with Engineer Mustapha Losty. What thoughts do you share about this tragic situation?
Well, this is a very pathetic situation. These are situations that have been occurring and reoccurring, and it seems that probably we're not doing enough or we're not doing anything about it. This situation is avoidable. We have agencies and parastatals that are in charge of regulation and ensuring that buildings that are obsolete are put down. And I feel that for one reason or the other, we do not do the right thing because of the environments that we had, that we give priority to people that be instead of doing the right thing. And the consequences of not doing the right thing is what we're seeing. I can see that people are already defending their territory. That is what we were supposed to have done from the beginning. The festival theory says that whatever, any environment that you stay or you work, you should partake in type of structure and security of that environment. We can see how painful that people are paying huge price, and because of these prices, we're being forced to open up and to be able to defend, to fight and defend that theory. If you look at that Itafaji, if you look at most of the structure there, are built for residential. And they are not built now, they probably have outlived most of their life, and apart from that, we have also overloaded them by at the moment the load on that building are more than what they are specified for. I will call on government to probably look at all the buildings, and also possibly market areas should have a standard structure for marketing, for market environment. Residential in a market area should be looked into. If you have a resident building in a market area, we need to do an integrity test and be sure that that building can last for that environment. If it's not fit, we should not waste time, because the price of wasting time, the price of delay is what we are seeing. A lot of lives are lost. Yes, we are trying to manage the numbers. The truth is, one is a lot. One is a lot, and I hope and I think we'll take this as a lesson. This is a very, very bad thing. It has happened in the past. It was not supposed to happen again. I believe that we will learn from this.
All right, let me go to the builder. What do you make out of this continuous building collapse in Nigeria? Because as of yesterday also, there's a building that also collapsed in Ibadan. Why do you think this has been recurring?
For now, what I can say is this. It's a sort of two things. Number one, greed.
Number one, what?
Greed.
Greed. Okay.
The second one is out of indiscipline. Nobody can tell me today that before you can start a construction work, that you need to get the right set of people. Right? No client can say that the law is clear. Maybe probably from your family, you will know that at least you have an architect, or if not your immediate family, maybe probably a friend of yours. Maybe it's an architect or a friend of yours, or maybe a friend, have an engineer, a builder, and the rest. But in this situation whereby you think that maybe probably you can cut corners, this is the result of what you get. There's a saying that if education is costly, try ignorance. And the ignorance that we are trying, this is the result. It's quite pathetic. It's quite unfortunate. And to the international community, they look at Nigerian professionals as if they're not qualified. It's look as if Nigerian government, they are not attending to issues. Because we have a lot of laws, a lot of regulations. They are all there. Now, let's look at this is Tafaji issue. From the inception of the design, you have an architect, you have a structural engineer, you have the rest. If a structural engineer it designed for minimum of 50 years lifespan.
Okay, 50 years lifespan.
Minimum of 50 years lifespan. Now, for this 50 years, not that after 50 years go and demolish. What the code, which is BS 8110, is the code for design and construction, and Euro Code 2 says that if at the end of the day the cost of maintaining the property is getting higher, then you can demolish. Now, what happens is this: the so-called developers, what they want to do is this: they want to have early return on their investment. When they want to have early return on their investment, grid setting. When grid setting, they will not do what is appropriate. And in not trying to do what is appropriate, trying to cut corners, this is what you get. So it's quite unfortunate.
Okay, then how do we determine the safety of a building, you know, as a builder?
Wow.
You know, because for some people, you just don't know, maybe out of ignorance. Because I'm sure all those who lost their lives, it is not their intention for them to lose their lives.
Okay. First and foremost, before any building collapse, it gives some early signs. That is, you know, in Yoruba land, they will say, unjuku, maybe public concrete spalling and the rest. If you start seeing these symptoms, you call the certified professionals to go and do what you call building survey. Building survey, now it tells you that go and do a building structural integrity. When you now do the structural integrity test, it will tell you the state of the building. So it's now the function of the professional in the built environment to tell you the status of the building. Like what the report that we got, the Lagos State Material Test Laboratory have already seen this, that have served them, LabCo have already seen this, that have served them the notice. But where I can blame the Lagos State government for is this: for them not to switch to action on time, for them to wait for this collapse to have occurred. That is one major reason that I'm blaming the Lagos State government for. Now, as of yesterday, which means for you to know that the Lagos State government have this information, 180 buildings was approved by the executive state of the state for demolition. Which means that they have the information already before this incident happened. What is holding them up to this moment that this issue happens? And if now, not only in Itafaji, other areas too, Koshofe, Mushin, and the rest, also in Oshodi. So a lot of distress building is all over the state, all over the country. So if a right shoe is not pointing to a right leg, definitely the symptoms will still continue.
I get it. All right, let me quickly say for the benefits of viewers, you can also contribute to the program, and the number for you to contribute is right on the screen. Let us know what thoughts you share about building collapse in Nigeria, the solutions that you have, on how to stop this problem. All right, I'll go to Engineer Loste. From the reports which we brought from that particular area, some of those women blamed the officials for collecting bribe, and that's the reason why the building has remained. How do you think we can properly regulate construction in this country?
Well, thank you. I feel that the challenge we have started started from the beginning. From the construction, from getting the land space for the construction, we get a government approval, survey, and whatever. You get approval for the structure of the building. And when it comes to construction, then hands change. Probably the architect will be the construction engineer instead of getting a builder. Probably we get an artisan to construct the building. And the process of doing that, we do not know the integrity of the material that was used in the initial construction. So the idea of expecting buildings to live for 50 years is questionable. I think the first thing we missed is not using a proper professional for proper type of job. And until we start, we give a serious recognition to builders to allow them to do their job. Not only doing that job, we also need to hold them accountable to the job done. Government approval always end on building structural design and whatever, but it should go beyond that, that we want to know who is the engineer that supervises a particular building to sign off. And if anything happens in that building, there should be consequences. Yeah, in an environment that there are no consequences, you don't expect people to do the right thing. So I think that is one thing we're missing. And also, when we know that the first level of a building is to live for...
Losty, I'll hold you on that thought. I have Kazim is calling from Malaba. Kazim, good evening. Hello, Kazim. Are you still there? Okay, I think we lost him. Engineer lost him, right?
Yeah. In addition to that, as a building, when we know who builds the building, when environment changes, meaning that a particular environment was moved from residential to market or commercial, we need to get a special approval for a building that is built for residential to be used for commercial. Because in the process of that, the load that is designed for has changed. So the usability of the structure has changed. And we don't look into that. I think we need to put some policies in place, and not only put them in place. We have a lot of policy. Enforcement is our challenges. And when we enforce, when we are put in place of authority, you should do the right thing. We should undermine this idea of thinking that money do all things. It is costing us a lot. It's costing us progress. It's costing us development. It's costing us growth. We're losing a lot of life every day. We're destroying the future of this country. Nigeria should value ourselves, value life, and value doing things right. We should undermine the idea of thinking that we can buy a lot of things with money. I am calling on the government to ensure that situations like this, head should roll. People should take responsibility. We should stop this business as usual, that you can do anything, and if you know the power that beats, you can always go scot-free. I believe this is what is costing us a lot of stuff, because we believe that nothing can happen.
All right, let me go to your builder, Ainan. Talking about your profession, definitely there is a quackery here. How do we check that? Because we can want to put all the blames on developer from the reports which you brought from the street, but what about your profession? Are there no builders that are not professionally certified to be a builder?
Actually, I've not seen, maybe probably apart from the issue of the synagogue building collapse that happened, that the structural engineer have been questioned. Actually, we are 7 professionals. I've never seen the construction where all the 7 built environment professionals are involved and we're having such collapse. Number one is this: if Mr. A does not see an error, Mr. B will see it. If Mr. C does not see it, Mr. D will see it. So none of us, maybe probably, will do that to commission. That is one. So in a situation whereby somebody is trying to tell you that it's all in all, this is what you got, this is what you got. You know, they're saying that jack of all trades, master of none. This is what we... Now, the issue here is this. There are some percentages that maybe probably, when I'm talking the other time, I'm talking about the issue of the grid. You cut across the board. Some professionals turn the established, not really professionals, I will call them quack or building graduates. For the mere fact that you go to school, you study building, does not make a registered builder. Does the mere fact that you go to school, you study architecture, does not make a registered architect. Right? So what happens is this: a client can just maybe probably meet is just a building graduate or architecture graduate student that just graduated from school, that have little or no experience. Help me design this. This same guy will turn himself to what? To an architect. He will be the same guy turn himself to what? A builder. This same guy will come to himself to what? A quantity surveyor. Is this same guy to turn himself to what? An engineer. And at the same time, what does this guy have to, to give you? Nothing. At the end of the day, what will happen? This guy will what? We have gone. Now, it's a grid. We cannot estimate the grid because the client does not want to pay all the other professionals. But all these things happen to be division of labors. No single project that you are saying that all the 7 professionals are involved you see any collapse. I've not seen it in this country.
Are there penalties for whoever else?
Of course. Do you know what?
What are the penalties from
now? Number one is this: any job you are getting professional involved. Number one, before you, what they call professional indemnity. When you are getting this professional indemnity, they will ask you to submit your license form, in which is traceable to your professional institute. What the institution will do is this: if anything of such happens, your certificate will be withdrawn.
Okay.
That is one. Not after that. Again, there's a law in Lagos State that what happens is this. What happened in Itafaji?
Yes.
That a building that's during the working life collapsed. Such certificate of the person that built it should be what? Should be retrieved. That what happens to such building. So definitely you have to give some certain account. But in a situation whereby you don't patronize professionals, you are patronizing Baba Shaki, Baba Iseka, that has nothing to to lose. What happens?
Okay, so let me go to Engineer Loste. In a situation where it appears that story buildings in Nigeria in most cases are susceptible to collapse, and I'm wondering, what punishment do you think should be meted to such an individual or a builder who has cost us a tragic state?
Well, capital punishment will have been what I've recommended.
Capital punishment.
Yeah, ideally in a situation of just withdrawing of license, which is okay, but it's not good enough because life must go for life. And in a situation that you choose not to.
Okay, sorry, sir. Let me quickly. Jennifer, you're welcome to SUPEREYE. Hello, yeah, Jennifer. Jennifer.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome to SUPEREYE. Let's have a contribution. Jennifer, are you still there? Okay, I don't know what the problem is with the lines. Oh, Engineer Loste?
Yeah, in a situation that you are constructing a building or you own a property that you want to construct, if you contact a professional, a certified engineer or builder to do that for you, then you should hold the builder should be held accountable because it's going to sign off on the construction after you finished, and with that we can hold that builder accountable. But in a situation that the owner constructed a quack, I expect the owner of that structure should be given a capital punishment. You have killed people, you should be killed. I don't think we should start getting it. I believe if we start 1 or 2, 3 examples, people will sit up and do the right thing. We cannot be wasting life and feel that nothing should happen. We are making a lot of noise now. We have made a lot of noise like this in the past. Nothing happened.
Yes.
No consequences. They're in the book, but nothing happens. Somebody must be responsible. So as long as we do not hold anybody responsible, we should expect a lot of it.
Beautiful. Builder, I know, let me go to you again. Yeah, there are those who say they love to do the right thing in terms of having to build, but the bottlenecks associated with government and regulating agencies create a barrier. What is your reaction to this?
Well, I don't understand what they mean by the barrier. The planning law is very simple. Number one, before you commence, you have to know maybe probably the type of property that you need to build in that environment. Okay. You submit your survey plan. When you submit your survey plan, you have your architectural drawing, your structural drawing, and the rest. And each of the soil test report, it depends on the number of floors that you are going. You submit it. After you submitted all this, they will ask you to pay something, maybe probably your tax stamps and the rest. You pay. After which they will give you the approval. Upon collecting the approval, you have to go and meet Lagos State Lagos State Building Control Agency. You submit the approval document that has been given to you. After which you have to notify them that you want to commence your what? Construction. And Lagos State Laboratory will tell you that give me the details of your profession that you want to use. One thing is for you to give them the details. Another thing is that maybe probably are you using them really on site. That's what I'm talking about, the issue of the indiscipline. Right? And at times you have...
Okay, let's hold on. Jennifer is calling again. I don't know what's wrong with the line. Jennifer, you're welcome to SUPEREYE.
I'm here to speak about the collapse.
All right.
Because there are some things I'm noticing. That collapse happened because the foundation is not strong enough. If the foundation is strong enough, there won't have been a collapse of the building. Governments are just taking bribes It's because of the price. That's why that thing is happening. Because if they look into that matter very well, it will never happen. And a lot of kids have died because of that. Seriously. We as top bodies should look into it and we should know what is happening. We should be sure that the building is okay for us to proceed. We should look at the foundation. Foundation of the building matters a lot. Please just help to beg our government. That's just what I have to say. Thank you.
All right. Many thanks, Jennifer, for calling. Okay, right on.
Actually, partially, I would disagree with what Ms. Jennifer just said.
Okay, I would have loved you to round up with your point.
Yeah. Let me first of all disagree with what you just said.
React to the bribe break issue.
What happened is this. The first question is that when you are giving a contract of your building, who do you give it to? Do you have all the professionals? Do you request for their certificates? Like the punishment you're asking for. The issue of synagogue building or nation, the Lagos state government is charging them for manslaughter for the engineer that design and also the contractor handle the project. Right. So now from the law of Lagos state government, what did they say? They said that if a building collapses, an investigation will be carried out. If the default or the fault is from the client, then the landlord will hold responsible. If you have the professionals holding your job and you have their stamp and you have their certificate with you, definitely you submit to the state official. Definitely the state official will leave you. Now go after the professional. That is what is happening in synagogue building of all nations presently. Because the engineer that designed it is a current registered engineer. The contractor that you also have a contractor that also build it. So the two of them are facing prosecution. So the question now to Ms. Jennifer is this. It's not, and moreover, it's not only foundation that can make a building to collapse.
Okay.
The column too is also there.
Okay.
Am I communicating, ma? Now, the choice of materials that you use
also there.
Is also there. At times, if you are present, let me just down into a little aspect of materials. A little. If a social engineer design, he knows what he designed for in terms of reinforcement. Right? He designed for maybe probably for this particular quality of reinforcement. And the client go and buy another one. If you give your job to a contractor, it's the responsibility of the structural engineer and the builder to tell you that what you are doing is wrong. Another one, issue of this cement. We have about 8 different types of cement out there in the market. There's a particular time you use particular cement for one particular purpose and one reason. Not that you probably use this cement A for another cement B. No. Another one is the issue of the quality of the substance. Issue of your workmanship. If you have a professional handling your job on your project and you have the certificate of that professional.
All right, let's quickly take Joyce. Joyce is also calling from Lekki. Joyce, welcome to SUPEREYE.
Hello.
Hello, Joyce. Please make your contribution. Right on.
Yeah. Are we good?
Yes, you're good. Right on.
Can I talk now?
Please talk. You're right on.
Can I talk?
Yes, please. Right on. Speak.
I said I was at CBS on that fateful day. Nobody will see the sight of the parents wailing on the bike and will feel happy. Some of the nurses from that island hospital were hanging on the ambulance, rushing children, and people were wailing. It was not funny. Any good government with conscience and heart of human should act fast and mark all the buildings necessary and bring them down. You don't need the permission of the owner because lives are at stake. It wasn't funny. Those lives that were lost can never be bought with money. I am crying out on behalf of the parents who were affected because I am a parent. Please, even if they are indigenous buildings, if they are not good, they are not good. Ministries involved in marking building and bringing them down should please act fast so that we can avoid future occurrences. This is my contribution.
Yes, I'm sure many thanks, Joyce, for your contribution. I'm sure the appropriate quarters are watching and they're listening and they will do the right thing. Because of time, I think we have barely 4 minutes to round up with this program. You were saying something. Can you just help us to wrap up with what you're saying?
Actually, there are what the roles of Lagos State government on any building site is this. It's very simple. To check whether we are using a right professional, right? And what they will also do is that they will collect the number, the name, the number, and the seal, and every other thing of the right professional you are using. That is one. Number two, don't let any professional tell you that anybody tell you is jack of all trade, master of none. No. At least 3 professionals, at least if not 2, if not 3, 2
must be involved
in that building construction. At least, though the other, maybe the first two or three must have done their job, which happen to be the engineer, the architect, and the builder.
Okay.
The architect, the builder, and the engineer. The three of them must be involved. In the scenario that somebody is trying to tell you that it's the master of all, because everybody has his own area of competency.
All right, many thanks for that enlightenment. A final one from Engineer Loste. In regards to all the people who lost their lives and family members who are grieved at the moment, what's your words to government? Because I went to the hospital. You can see that if I, shown you that report to the end, maybe you will be shedding some tears right now. Because some of them are also saying our government is not taking care of their bills. But from our own findings, government said they are taking up the responsibility. They are prepared to shoulder it. But what we hear from the people is that there's a particular man who said one of his daughters died, and one is inside. They are still asking him for money. Where would he get money from? So, what's your final words, Engineer Loste?
Yeah, thank you so much again. Well, the first one, I'm going to start with the government. That government should please, any building that is marked for demolition, they should do the right thing. We don't have to wait forever before we demolish, and evacuate as fast as possible, and let's do the needful to save lives. At the same time, when issues like this happen, government has to take responsibility, because it's a failure of government performance. The reason why we are being voted in is to protect lives and property. We trusted, we believe in you. That is why we choose you among millions of people we have in Nigeria. We expected more than this from you, because our lives, our security is in thy hand. And you should force us to do the right thing to support you, so that we can get a result of what we expected. We know in our environment we have challenges. Government might have taken responsibility, and those workers in the hospital might also be taking advantage of us. We always take advantage of unnecessary things in this part of the world because of the way we have built ourselves. And it's purely because of indiscipline. It's because there's no consequences. Because we have loved money more than our life, because we feel that greed, because we felt that this environment is all about the money. We should have some conscience, have some personal put ourselves in that particular situation and help others. It's only when you help others that's when you get help. Everybody needs everybody. If we don't need ourselves, we will not be in the same environment together. Thank you.
All right. Many thanks. I would like to say a very big thank you to you. Many thanks to Builder, Ainan, for coming on SUPEREYE. And I also want to thank Engineer Loste too. Well, time is already gone, so we have to draw the curtain here. Many thanks for coming. I hope we'll call you again. You will oblige. All right, viewers, many thanks for watching SUPEREYE tonight. Please do it again next week. My advice is that whenever you want to rent an apartment, please endeavor to find out from the people in that environment how long the building has been. Like the builder has said, the lifespan of any building should be 50 years. And these are the things that we must watch out for. You cannot afford to just take your life or treat your life with levity. You have to be serious about it and check all that needs to be checked before you pack into any apartment. And the same thing goes to schooling. From what we find out, that school, that house also housed the school, and so many pupils died there, which is not supposed to be. It is not an approved school. So parents, this is a clarion call to you. When you are sending your children to school, please endeavor to find out, get the right information on whether the school is approved or not. Well, on that note, this is what we're going to draw the curtain. I'm Adenike Owoeye Ajiboye. Thank you for watching. It's a bye for now.